The Accounts section in TowBook is where you add and manage customer accounts, or the companies you do work for. This includes police and municipalities too. When clicking on the Accounts tab in TowBook, you'll see a list of all your accounts, plus a few other items. Let's start with the options in the top portion of the navigation menu. First, you'll see the option to add an account at the top. We'll cover this option more in a little bit. Next is the option to prepare and send statements for multiple accounts. To do this, you'll want to click on the Prepare and Send Statements option. Enter the start and ending dates for your billing period, and select Retrieve Invoices. A list of accounts with outstanding balances during this time period will populate, and you can select which statements you'd like to send out now. Next to each account in the statement listing, you'll see an option to choose the statement delivery method. You'll have the option to email the statement to the account contact, print and email the statement, or the option to print the statement to be mailed out later. After the delivery method is set, add the statement due date to this batch at the bottom and specify the date of the statements. Click on the Create Statements button. And just like that, you've rendered your first batch of statements. Once they've been created, you'll see an option to preview each statement and buttons to print and email them. Simply print the ones you'd like to mail and click on Email Statements to send those you've selected for email. You'll be able to access these statements at any time by going into the account, which will be discussed later in this video. Going back to the Accounts navigation menu, you're able to quickly access the account performance report by selecting the Revenue Report option. Simply enter your date range and filter by any necessary items, such as payment status and whether to include impounds. When you're ready, choose the Update button to render your report and view the performance of your accounts, which includes the total number of calls, amount invoiced, amount owed to your company, and your average call amount for that period. It's also important to note that this report is interactive, meaning you'll be able to click on any account in the report and view all of the jobs performed for that period. We even have a link to take you directly to the editor for each call to explore those job details further if necessary. Next, on the Accounts navigation menu, you'll see an option to view open balances. Selecting this option will quickly display a list of all your unpaid invoices. From the drop-down menu here, you can choose to include only current statements or current and past due statements. Under the Actions menu, you'll have the option to view or print the statement or record a payment from here if needed. The last item in the Accounts navigation menu is the ability to email an account contact. Simply select the Send Email option. Select the accounts you'd like to send an email to. Choose the correct email address you'd like the email to come from. Enter your subject and compose the content of your email. Once your email is ready to send, simply click the Send button. You'll find a copy of your email under each account in the Files tab, which will be explored more in a little bit. Like other sections in TowBook, you can choose what data is displayed on your account listing. Plus, you can adjust what's listed in a snap. At the top, you'll see a variety of filters available in order to quickly show accounts based on the account type, tags, or the account manager in charge. You're also able to show any accounts that have been marked as inactive, deleted, or any callout accounts for PPI work. Here you'll use the Show Hide Columns option to display any additional data on your main account screen. Simply select any data sections you'd like to see on this page. This customized data will be displayed anytime you visit your Accounts tab in the future until you choose to change it. In the quick search bar, you can type anything you'd like to search for on the page, such as account names, account type, or balances. If you'd like to export your account list to a spreadsheet, click on the Export option to download an Excel document. TowBook will export the account name, address, phone number, account type, and any PPI tags associated with that account. Finally, you're able to print a list of your accounts by choosing the Print button if needed. Now that we've gotten familiar with the Accounts tab, let's add an account together. You can have as many accounts as necessary in TowBook, including cash calls, police contracts, dealerships, body shops, fleet customers, motor clubs, and any other company you work with. Select Add Account to create a new account. Set the account type and add an account name. Account type is especially important as it will automatically activate special rules for each account. Enter additional details, such as the specific contact person for the account and how to reach them. If your company has account managers, add the account manager in the drop-down menu, and if necessary, specify an email address you'd like any replies from this account to go to, such as your billing department or their account manager. The physical address of an account should contain the actual physical location of the business. You can also choose to automatically add this address as the pickup or destination location on any calls created in the future to save time. The billing address for an account will be the address that appears on any future statements for this account. The billing contact and email address will be the email that all statements for this account are emailed to. If you're transferring to TowBook from another software and have a carryover balance for this account, please specify this balance in the opening balance box. Once you're finished, click the Save Changes button to save the account. Setting up accounts in TowBook is important because it helps streamline the billing process and improve your ability to report on your business, including what customers generate the most revenue and assurance that all balances are collected. Once an account has been created, you're able to click on it from your accounts list to access it. Like the main account screen, each account has its navigation menu at the top. Clicking on Modify Account will allow you to edit any details or configurations with the account. We're going to revisit this in a little bit. The Generate Statement button will allow you to create a statement specifically for this account. Simply add your statement date, due date, and select the calls to include. Don't forget to click the Create Statement button once you're finished. From here, you'll be able to print or email the statement, or return to the account details page. Next, you'll be able to record a payment for this account by choosing the Record Payment option. Choose the payment type, the date of the payment, and select the individual calls or statements you'd like to apply the payment to. Add any notes to the payment if needed, and click Record Payment at the bottom. Send an email to the contact on this account by selecting the Send Email option. Choose which company email you'd like to send the email from, if multiple exist within your account. The email will automatically add the billing email on the account or the contact email if no billing email address is listed. Add your subject, compose the body of the message, and click Send when you're finished. If you'd like to convey any notes to your team members regarding this account, such as billing procedures or complaints, simply select the Add Note button. It's important to know that these notes can only be deleted by a manager. To upload any important files for an account, select Upload File. You'll be able to access these files at any time in the future. Finally, you're able to create a new call for this account by clicking the New Call option so that you don't have to switch back to the Dispatching tab. Moving down the screen, you'll notice the Workflow section for this account. The Invoices tab will display any recent jobs done for this account. You're able to select any call to perform additional action items, such as viewing the call, duplicating the call, printing the invoice, recording a payment, emailing the receipt, viewing the call location on Google Maps, or deleting the call altogether. Notice the lock and audit icons next to each call. If you use TowBook's Audit and Lock feature for your business, you're able to lock a call here to prevent any users from changing additional details, and mark a call as audited, indicating that it's ready to be billed. Some calls won't have a lock icon next to them. These jobs are current impounds and won't be able to be locked until the vehicle is released. Next, you're able to select any calls on this screen and move them to the next bucket in the workflow, such as the Ready to Bill or the Build tab if the call has already been billed. Note that TowBook will automatically move these calls to the Build tab for you once a statement has been created for them. You're also able to create a statement for the selected calls in the Recent Jobs tab by selecting the Create Statement button. Or you can print and email the individual invoices from here also. Moving through the Workflow tab, you'll be able to view any unpaid, partially paid, paid, or all jobs at any time by clicking on the corresponding tabs. Viewing the Impounds tab for this account will display all current impounds. You're able to customize this screen by choosing the Show Hide Columns option, or you can export a list of these impounds to Excel and print a list if needed. The Statements tab is where you'll find any statement you've created for this account. TowBook organizes the statements in tabs according to their payment status. Clicking on any statement will show options to view, modify, send via email, or delete the statement. It's important to note that anytime a statement is deleted, Any calls associated with that statement will move back to the Recent Jobs tab in the account. The Payments tab is where you'll find the current or voided payments for any statements associated with this account. Click on any payment to see the expanded options to view or print the payment. If for any reason you need to void a payment, click the Void Payment option. When selecting the Files tab, you'll see any files that have been uploaded for this account via the Upload File button mentioned earlier. Click on any file to view it or delete it if necessary. Tobuck prides itself on being as customizable for your company as possible. When modifying an account, you'll see an array of tabs available to enable various features and requirements to save your team time in the future. Let's dive in by clicking on the Modify Account option mentioned previously. Here you'll see all the account details you set up earlier. Feel free to update them as they change. Notice the selection boxes under the account information. Marking an account as tax-exempt will prevent Tobuck from adding taxes on calls for this account if you already have a company-wide tax percentage set up in your company settings. Selecting the Email Invoices Automatically option will tell your Tobuck system to automatically send invoices to the email address on file once a call is completed for this account. Disable the account if you're no longer doing business with this company, but want to keep the data and calls associated with it for future reference. You'll be able to access it in the future by selecting the Show Inactive Accounts option on the main account screen. Choosing the option to add contact calls will automatically add an account contact name and phone number as the contact for each call created for this account. And finally, if you select the option to require payment, this will notify your team members via the web and mobile apps that payment is required from this account at the time of service. Moving down the screen, you'll also see the ability to apply a credit hold to this account, meaning Tobuck will no longer allow a balance to accrue for this account, and payment will be required until the hold is removed by you. Also notice the Delete button here. You're able to completely delete this account if needed, but be careful using this option, as it will completely remove any data such as calls, payments, etc. from your system. Let's move over to the Pricing tab. Here you'll find all rate items that have been configured for this account from the company's Settings tab and displayed in blue. You're also able to update your prices from here too. Let's update one right now. Selecting the option to Show All Rates will show all line items for your company that don't have account-specific pricing. Let's say this account has a rate other than your standard company rate for deadhead mileage. We would click on the deadhead mileage rate item and enter the new rate for this account. If you provide the first 5 deadhead miles for free to this account, you can enter 5 in this box to tell Tobuck not to charge for these miles for any call created in the future. You can also exclude this rate item from being discounted or include this item when calculating fuel surcharges for this account. Click Save once you've finished. Notice that the deadhead rate item we just added account-specific pricing for now displays in blue. Moving on, if you have a special discount for this account, click on Flat Discount Rate and add this account's specific discount percentage. Under Storage Rate Limits, you're able to specify a maximum daily dollar amount that can accumulate for stored vehicles for this account. And lastly, if you have a specific fuel surcharge for this account, other than the company-wide fuel surcharge in Settings, enter that specific fuel surcharge percentage here. Tobuck will use this percentage when calculating the fuel surcharge for calls relating to this account. Be sure to click Save Changes after making any changes in this tab. Selecting the Rules tab for an account will allow you to set up pricing rules in your system to automatically add rate items to future calls for this account based on different variables. Let's create a pricing rule together. Click on Add Rule. Choose the rate item you'd like to add automatically. We'll choose the admin fee. We can now add this rate item based on the job reason, weight of the vehicle towed, or added to the call after it's been impounded for a certain number of days. We'll choose to automatically add the admin fee to an impound vehicle after it's been on our lot for 15 days. Save it, and you've now created your first official pricing rule. Tobuck customers often create rules for every single account based on the rate item and reason. For instance, if you perform jump starts, you can create a rule for your jump start fee to add automatically to any call when the reason is jump start. Selecting the Impounds tab when modifying an account will let you choose your preferred destination when vehicles are impounded for this account. By default, Tobuck selects None for each account. But if every job you do for this account is an impound, you can tell Towbook that you always want the call destination for every job to be an impound lot or a third-party storage facility. When choosing one of these options, be sure to specify the particular lot of storage facility if you have multiple lots created in your company settings. Selecting the Tags tab will allow you to tag any PPI accounts for the things you patrol them for. You'll also be able to search for any accounts based on what their tags are. The Users tab is an exciting one. Here you'll be able to set up your web request portal and control external user access. Let's show you what the web request portal does. For this example, we'll use the Cash Calls account, but you can create a portal for any of your accounts to use, such as dealerships, body shops, and more. Select the box to enable the external link for this account. Towbook will automatically populate a unique link that you can copy and provide to your account contacts. But since this is for cash calls, you could create a button on your website for customers to request service without having to call. Once the link is clicked, your customer will see this form. They're able to specify the vehicle location, add vehicle details, any notes or important things your team should know, upload attachments or photos, and provide their contact information. Once they click Send, you'll be notified that you have a new call in Towbook with all the details readily available, and your team can reach out to request additional information or let them know that you're on your way. The next action plan you can perform in the Users tab is granting access to this account to an external user. For this example, we'll use a police department account, since many Towbook clients allow police to view the jobs that have been completed to perform audits according to their contract. Click on Add New User. Assign the external user a username, password, enter their email address, and their full name. Choose the Enable option to allow this user future access, and send a confirmation email to let them know that you've created a new account for them. External users will be able to create new jobs and make your job easier by entering the details for you. They'll also be able to view any completed jobs you've done for them as well. This feature comes in handy for property managers too. You're able to customize what external users see, such as charges, completed calls, or internal notes. You can also prevent them from performing certain actions, such as modifying and canceling calls or viewing any impounds. Please contact our support team to let them know how you'd like to limit these actions. Moving on to the Notes tab, you're able to add any notes to the account that you want your employees to be aware of when creating calls or performing services. For instance, if this account requires a gate code to enter, you can add that gate code here. These notes will be visible to your dispatcher and drivers in both the web and mobile apps, so they're aware of this information when performing services. These notes are only visible to users within your company and not externally. The Statements tab will allow you to customize the statements you send to this account and set the preferred billing options. If you have a customer disclaimer you'd like to display on this account's statements, you can enter that in the disclaimer box. Account disclaimers always take precedence over company-wide disclaimers. Next, set your preferred billing method for this account and adjust the payment terms if needed. Choose the statement's delivery preference and enter a personalized email message to go out with each emailed statement in the future. Custom account email messages will override any company-wide email settings. Be sure to save your changes when you're finished. You can also customize the invoices for an account by choosing the Invoices tab. Just like the Statements option mentioned previously, you're able to add a personalized disclaimer and custom email message for any invoices for this account. The last tab for customizing an account is the Advanced tab. Here you'll find many unique configuration options. If you want the PO number to always be the same for this account, enter a default PO number. Next, you're able to set a default storage rate option. If you have multiple storage rate service items in your company settings, you can tell Towbook which ones to use when there's an impound for this account. You can also set the default body type. For instance, if this account is a trucking company, you could set the default body type to heavy so that you don't have to indicate this each time when creating or modifying a call. If this account shouldn't accumulate a balance and payment responsibility belongs to another account, you can indicate a default Billed To account here. Let's check out some additional advanced options. You can set all calls on this account as high priority, Enabling this option will turn each call red on your dispatching screen, indicating the calls for this account take precedence over the calls that you have in your system. By default, police accounts are always set to high priority. Choose to hide charges or discounts when sending the receipt to your customer, or include copies of the invoices with your statements. You can also hide photos from the receipt or allow users to view files associated with this account. If your company utilizes the job progress text or survey features, you'll see options here to automatically send a job progress alert to the main call contact or send a survey link upon completion. Next, you'll see some mileage items available for each account. If you use Towbook's direct billing feature for this account, you can automatically set the unloaded mileage to 1 if it's missing. This is usually helpful for companies doing jobs for a flat rate amount. We'll be reviewing our direct billing feature shortly. Next, if you prefer to only calculate mileage based on whole numbers, let us know here if you'd like to round up to the nearest full mile. There's a company-wide setting for calculating deadhead mileage, but if you only charge deadhead for specific accounts, select that option here. Towbook uses Google for all mapping and mileage calculations. If this account needs to calculate mileage based on the shortest distance or fastest time, choose that here. Towbook automatically defaults to the optimal Google-suggested route for every account. Next, choose whether you want to automatically fill in mileage quantities on each call for this account. You only have to select this if the account differs from your company-wide mileage settings. If your company uses the Towbook Square integration, you'll see various options here to customize your Square payment links or alert you when a transaction is paid or refunded. Lastly, you'll see a variety of requirements that can be enabled for dispatchers and drivers prior to completing a call. For instance, if we want the driver to collect payment before they can complete the call in Towbook, we'd select Paid in Full from the driver requirements. If we wanted our dispatcher to ensure charges are on a call prior to sending it to the driver, we'd select Charges from Dispatcher Requirements. As always, be sure to save those changes. As mentioned earlier, let's quickly review our direct billing feature. If you work with motor clubs, you'll be excited to learn that you'll be able to bill via Towbook for various motor clubs, saving your company hours of billing time. To activate Towbook's direct billing feature, click on the Motor Club account. Modify the account and enter your contractor ID, federal tax ID, location ID if needed, and enter the Motor Club's billing username and password. Once activated, the Generate Statement button for this account will now say Submit Invoices. When you select Submit Invoices, a page will open listing invoices that can be submitted to the Motor Club. Any calls displayed in red must be updated before you can submit them. The most common issues are missing mileage, missing or incomplete VIN numbers, and missing charges. For service calls with no destination, loaded miles aren't required, and if they're on the call, it will fail when processing. Towbook makes it easy to modify any calls from this screen by allowing you the ability to open calls from here that need to be edited. Once you've selected the calls to be billed, click the Submit button at the bottom to submit them to the Motor Club, and you're done. You can check the status of any calls you've submitted by clicking the Submit History tab. This tab will show you whether submitted calls are still in progress, list any failures, or if they've been submitted successfully. Any failed submissions will be listed in red, and we'll provide you with the reason why they may have failed. We hope you've enjoyed learning all about the Accounts section in Towbook and just how powerful it can be. If you have any questions related to accounts and how to configure them, you can take comfort in knowing that our team is always waiting to assist you with anything you may need.